Hey, it's Mike from Friction Jewelry. I want to do a quick review on some pliers for permanent jewelry. Here we go. As you probably already know, pliers are arguably the most important tool in your bag, especially when you're doing permanent jewelry. I would argue that in many cases, they're more important than the welder itself. If you can't see what you're doing clearly, if you can't hold on to what you're trying to hold on to, you're bound to fail, essentially. So, most important plier in the bag, the grounding plier. That's the plier. Since I'm right-handed and I weld with my right hand, I usually hold my grounding plier in my left hand. There's two things you can do. One, you can choose a plier that is already grounded, meaning that the grounding wire is soldered onto the metal of the plier itself, and it connects to your welder with the banana clip. The second way to do it is to have a test lead like this, or Sunstone makes this little precision one. And you can actually choose any pair of pliers and you can ground the plier like so. You can do it there. Sometimes I even do it on the tines like that. But in truth, after doing hundreds and hundreds of these projects, these bracelets, clients, whatever, the grounding pliers are for sure the way to go. I wouldn't even mess with trying to reuse your old pliers. Just forget it. Just order these pliers and be done with it. So what I'll do right now is I'll compare the two on the market that are most easily accessible. They are the Xuron plier from Sunstone and the Tronex P723 from Micro Tools. Let me talk about the Sunstone one first. This is $40. It's a $20 plier, and it's an extra $20 to get the banana clip, essentially the grounding put on. What's cool about this plier is it's sturdy, right? It has a 2mm tine. So if you're working with slightly thicker jump rings or chain, especially like stainless steel, this is pretty much your only option. However, I find that more than likely I'm dealing with the opposite. Really, really small things. 2mm for me, it's too big, right? If I have a 2.3mm jump ring and then I have chains attached to that jump ring, when I grab it with a 2mm tine, I can't really see what I'm doing. And my chances of crushing a very fine link of chain with a 2mm plier are too high. So this one is basically out for me. That brings us to the Micro Tools. This is a $55 plier. They charge you another $45 to have it grounded, essentially. So it's $100 from Micro Tools. Let me tell you, it is 1,000% worth it. It has a 1mm tine on the end, which is just the borderline. It also has a super short jaw, which based on the physics gives you a better grip. When you go to something that has a long jaw, this is a Tronex 515. This is not a good plier for chainmail at all. And I find that out the hard way. I wasted like $60 on this plier, and I don't know what I'm gonna use it for now. It doesn't work. You basically need the sort of short jaws to give you the grip that you need for chainmail. So this 1mm chain nose plier is essentially the perfect balance to get grip, but also have to be fine enough that you can see what you're doing. It comes with a higher end banana clip, and also super important, it comes with a 5-foot cord. The Tronex plier, I wanna say, is like 3 feet. That really matters when you're trying to like work on someone's ankle, or you're standing up trying to do someone's necklace and you're working freehand, which is 90% of the stuff that I do. So highly recommend the Tronex plier. It's an investment, but it's the best $100 you ever spend. As far as quality of welding goes with either of these grounding pliers, I don't notice a huge difference. You'll hear people online saying that if you get the ground closer to where the weld is, they get better results. That does make sense to me, but for whatever reason, these have been working fine for me. I've done maybe about 50 or 100 clients with this particular plier. I just got it. And it's been great. It's been a huge time saver. I highly, highly recommend this Tronex plier. Last thing I want to mention for my right hand plier. So normally what I do is I'll close the jump ring with 2 pliers. I'll drop my right hand. I'll pick up the stylus and work freehand and weld. So my right hand plier, I call it. I'm currently using the P757 from Tronex. This has a 60-degree bend. It allows me to sort of, have a better ergonomic grip. And it also has like a 0.5mm tine. It is tiny. It's one of the smallest tips you can get. You lose grip with that tiny tip, and you definitely can't work with super thick gauge material. But what you gain is the ability to really see what you're doing. It keeps the player sort of out of the picture. And so that is my go-to setup for permanent jewelry right now, these two guys right here. And I can't leave without mentioning the most important thing outside of the grounding player, and that is your flush cutters. There's only two that I would recommend. This is the 5223. Those are the ultra fine flush cutters. I don't have them in front of me, but Lindstrom also makes, these are my Lindstrom round nose pliers. They're about the same size. And Lindstrom flush cutters are really solid, but honestly, again, Tronex, I would do all Tronex. It'll probably cost you like $250 for these three pliers. It sounds insane when you can get craft pliers at Michael's for like $5, but I'm telling you, it's worth the investment. Tronex all the way. All right, I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions or any other pliers that you're thinking about. I've literally tried them all. Thanks, have a good one, and happy welding.